Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another HYDRA mod stream, development stream. We haven't really been doing much modding in the last couple of streams. Something I intend to correct pretty soon, actually. But this particular stream be a bit of a grab bag. Got a whole bunch of different things that we can work on. But first, as is customary, we're going to be checking out those polls, baby. Of course, some people seem to have decided that a Cantor is not a good enough name for the Reaver, which is very disappointing, but I'm sure this will be righted eventually. Meanwhile, Harakan still very much in the lead for the Firebat, and Scribe still very much in the lead for the Probe. That being said, you all know what I'm doing here, sharing the No Frauds Club Discord server poll to remind people that it exists. I'm not sure what polls we'll be doing today. I don't really have anything off the top of my head that I would want to tackle. Guessing there will probably be something that we tackle maybe a little bit later on. Been thinking about what we might name the overarching campaign, for example. But, yeah. For now, seems like everything will be working itself out eventually. That's what it seems like to me. For now, I've got no idea what the poll is going to be. However, I was going to be working on this page very briefly, and then jumping into some more substantive work. As I said earlier, there's a bit of a grab bag in terms of what we can actually work on here. So, I guess we can update our Modstream TXT. Obviously, we've removed the upgrades from the AI. Yep, we've pretty much done that, so we can get that off. The liftoff and add-on stuff is certainly something that I still need to work on. Not sure that there's really anything to worry about the Goliath. I'm not actually able to mess around with the Madrigal currently, but I will probably... I'll also say here that we would need... increase specifically tankiness because of the fact that it's very vulnerable right now. So if I'm going to be making it ground itself in order to fire all over the place, which I'm not really sure would be super positive for the units, the Madrigal's sort of, what do you call it? Their unit fantasy. I'm not sure if that would make the most sense. Kind of neat that we have Kabbalist and Cantavis. They both start with CA. Didn't think about that before. Okay. So I haven't looked at this in a while, actually, but my main thinking is that I don't think Kabbalists are in need of significant improvements. The one thing that might benefit them is, like, slightly more durability, but they're not that, badly equipped, I don't think. We've got... Okay, I think what's kind of wild is that the Kabbalist is a predecessor for the Mind Tyrant. And that kind of just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not really sure that it makes sense to have this unit work the way that it does. So what I'll say is, these are a little bit more direct than just general improvements. I really like the idea for hallucination to be AoE, but also have like a bit of a delayed channel almost. Maybe a projectile even. We've done the build space buff. In fact, I think we've done all of that. Let me see here. Yeah. So we just need the work animation. I don't think the Zoriz really needs a survivability buff. The one thing is that maybe it could use like more movement speed. Slight move speed increase. Well, I'll just say buff is fine. Maybe that makes more sense, but I think it's tanky enough. You know, it's got 2 armor. It's nothing to shy away from. And 180 HP is quite a bit. So I don't think that's a problem. All of this stuff is pretty much... I mean, we already upped its HP and armor, so I don't... Or at least its HP. I don't think we need to be stat changing it anymore. But the Stratholith is certainly... You know, all of this stuff is basically like programming side knowledge if we want to make a change. So. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that one. I'm going to say... Got the Bactylisk, Maxilisk. Yeah, all of this stuff is mostly like audio visuals. I guess the Calculus could probably see some HP increase now that it's tier, like, it's definitively tier 3, right? So maybe we'll say that. Like, I can do Calculus. Consider durability increase now that it's tier 3. And the Almaxilisk seems okay, but a 100 HP 1 armor unit is pretty rough IMO. I guess they are a little more on the spammable side. They're the same cost as the Quasilisk. So either that or they would be like dropped in ore cost or something. I'm not sure. But. And we'll also say morph from egg animation. Still need to do that. Yeah. So I think this is fine. This is sort of like where we're at, right? So I guess we can also say like AI. Update Zerg and Protoss logic to use the new attack production system. Tweak global defense logic. And then there was something else that I wanted to experiment with as well, but I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it's just like iterate on new attack production systems for Terran. We'll move that to the top. Actually, we'll move the defense one to the top because that's like lower hanging fruit that we can just dive into and tackle immediately. I've actually got a couple of different ideas here for this. So we'll have like test with under attack never set. And then, oh, I guess never set to 0. And then test with start, unstart campaign. I don't know if either of these will actually resolve the issues that we have, but I feel like one of these should give us some useful results for this. Because the defense issues only started when I unstart campaigned the melee AI. when I made sure to always run it as if it were melee AI. When I did that, that's when the issues began. That's when we started to see the AI just have like a whole stack of units preparing an attack or sitting in one base, but they would not respond. So I know that's not even normal melee behavior, but something is clearly interfering with it. So yeah. Gotta tell you, I'm missing a humidifier right about now. Very dry in here. All right. Should be a little bit better now. Should be equipped. What's up, Alexander? That is cool to hear. If you want to like zip them up and post them in the Fraud Knights channel or something, I can add them to the what do you call it, the official repo. If you have like a specific change log or whatever, I can also include it in the upcoming change log. But otherwise, I'll just say updated to latest version. What's up, Terran Dominion? Good morning and welcome. All right. So I do want to update the website a little bit more. There's always stuff to do on the website, but my main goal is to refactor the way that some of the stuff looks like. I'm kind of tempted to actually have the as soon as you walk into the site, have the immediate thing that greets you be the tech trees. But I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like, it probably makes sense to have some blurb over here. It's just that I can't imagine it being succinct enough that you can still see the tech trees on the page. And I do prefer the tech trees to be immediately visible, if that makes any sense. So what I was thinking is we move the tech tree stuff all the way to the top. Like, as soon as you walk in, you see Terran, Protoss, and Zerg. And then we have the primer, and it will, like, make reference to the fact that, like, oh yeah, you can check these out or whatever. I think HR class equals W100 is the horizontal line or separator. Where's the next one? Right above tech trees. Yeah, that must be it. Okay, cool. Subveeker. Well, the problem is that the primer is going to be it's the primer is this, and it will be linked with this. And I don't think there's any way for me to make the primer meaningful while also having it be small enough that the tech trees are immediately visible. So for composition's sake, I think we just move everything up. The one sticking point is that I don't really like the all units button being here. It just floats in the middle of nowhere, right? But it still should be here. So I don't know. I definitely should move the this stuff over here to the bottom, but yeah, but I don't really like that it would be. Well, I guess we can experiment with just this blurb, that one line. Move the downloads, documentation, catalogs stuff down. And I didn't change the indent of the first HR. So you actually. Whoa. Well, which HR do you mean, though? The very first one that's over here? This should be indented more? I don't even know what that means, oh man. Why would that make a difference? Oh, do you just mean for clarity or whatever? So that it's, like, obvious that it's in the same area? Within the div? Alright, let's try that. Well, you're always going to have some confusion when shit runs off the page, which is pretty unavoidable, unfortunately. Alright, we've got update main HYDRA page with shortened overview and one really obvious fault is that all units is actually a link, but it looks visually identical to primer. That's where we definitely should update that stuff for like visibility or whatever. So we've got primer, files and info. I guess I should actually have a header for this, similar to the regular stuff. For clarity. Yeah, I feel like this is better in general. Perhaps the downloads being further down is a bit awkward. So I guess I could do something like... refer to the table of contents to your left. Well, just for downloads, information, and just say downloads and information. I guess, I don't know. What should it even, for more info? It's kind of obvious that there is a table of contents, but I don't know. Well, files and info for me just means like, I think files and documentation are too much. It's too wordy. So files and info, the info is the catalog, the documentation stuff. However, the primer is pretty important to have at the beginning above anything else. If people want the files, they can go to files and info. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Do you want me to change your folder name to Knight of the Realm, by the way? If that's your legit username? I actually wonder if, did I don't remember. Yeah, okay. I credited Kian as his actual name. That makes sense. All right. Yeah, Game Cigarillo, all right. I don't even know. Some of his usernames are beyond me. I'll put it to you that way. So, what else do we got here? Could probably rewrite this or reword this to be a little bit more appropriate. The main thing that I wanted to come across after changing the sort of composition of everything was that we'll say li all upgrades have been... See, the problem is that when I say unit-specific upgrades in tech have become synonymous with the affected units themselves, I should probably just say have been integrated with the units to provide a constant understanding of unit strength. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All researches and upgrades have been have either been so maybe we just replace this above line. We'll say have either been integrated with the affected units, or removed entirely in order to provide, and this is where I just copied this. Okay. Yeah. So that's a little bit better. IMO. And then down here we can say maximum supply is no longer limited. We can get rid of this. We'll say grades and researches have been removed. And there you go. Add upgrade research notes. So that should be pretty easy as far as that's concerned to like inform individuals. All right. Then there's a couple of things that I wanted to tackle here, like the fact that we have Kabbalist, for example. Essentially any of these units that ended up getting renamed, right? Stuff that I just didn't look at here. And then origin. Kabbalist. A shadowed cohort. We have, compared to the original Dark Templar, the Kabbalist has. Oh yeah, I don't know if the updated stuff for permanent cloaking. Yeah, that permanent cloaking rule hasn't been added here either. So that's something to look into throwing in here a little bit later. Let's see. This is where I need to jump back into the PyDat and compare Dark Templar 8041. Interesting. Okay, it's just the website being wrong then. They do have 1 armor. We have 8041, 125, 100. Ours are, yeah, pretty heavily discounted there. Mineral cost, 25 gas cost, minus 6.25 time cost. And then I think it's like plus 50% movement speed. It might be less than 50. That's all of the movement speed stuff I should probably like fact check later on. Sup, Barack? We're usually pretty focused around here, so I don't think anybody noticed. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's say update or add Kabbalist. We'll say add notes origin to Kabbalist. Should be sufficient. So yeah, that should be fine. Let's jump to my index over here. I'll say permanently cloaked units now reveal themselves when attacking or using an ability. For 2 seconds. Attacking or using an ability. Yep, should be good. Add permacloak note. I can't remember if there are any other units that have been renamed. I guess the Envoy and I already did the Witness. Did the Scribe already. The Envoy is still one that needs to be taken a look at. The Didact. The Solarian is fine. Steward could have the notes section. Same as the Scribe, right? So we can say, where's the Steward? I think I had Steward open. Yeah, there it is. Say notes compared to the original Interceptor. Steward is unchanged. Okay. And then, so we've got Envoy and Didact, and then I think Protoss are done as far as what we have right now. BR, and then formerly known as the Arbiter. And now we can jump to Arbiter is 71, 200, 151. Plus 50 shields. Actually, the same gas cost? Is that true? Have I been pranked? Oh wow, check that out. Minus 30 time cost, though, by the way. Still 4 supply, still 9 vision range. Yeah, I think that might actually be everything. Although, I will say, did I do anything for the Solarian? Okay, didn't do anything for, like, the link or whatever, so yeah, that should be fine. So now we can say Didact and Steward, so I just need Envoy now. Notes compared to the original shuttle the Envoy has. I don't think I've modified the HP or survivability or anything. Did change the time cost, so we'll say, because I know it also has like plus 50% acceleration or something. Or maybe it doesn't, I don't remember. Maybe it's like 25. I can go and search the changelog. Yeah, so 25% acceleration and 50% movement speed. And then aside from that, it's just went from 37.5 to 28. So that's 9.5. 9.5 time cost. And then obviously, just like the Cantavis, it's going to have a different production structure, new source structure. And yeah, that should be everything for that. So we'll just say origin, envoy. Okay. Notes origin for Protoss units. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Yeah, the Dragoon or Drakadin has it now. Yeah, so it's just Reaver needs to be renamed eventually. Everything else we've got taken care of. Obviously the buildings are not taken care of, but I don't really think that's a huge issue. Oh, you know what? Another unit that might be going is DF actually reminded me that Extractor is a real name, which is hilarious. But I was just thinking Shield Battery is also pretty stupid and should probably be renamed. So, I mean, Shield Battery is like Supply Depot. They can certainly all do better than that. Okay, so yeah, I think we've done our due diligence as far as updating the site goes and filling in some of these, like, fields for Protoss at the very least. Obviously, there are some units that received gameplay changes. That I haven't documented. The Reaver being one of them, actually. I'm waiting for the new name to come through first. And then, obviously, there's stuff like... Yeah, I don't think Vulture really changed anyway. And maybe it should. Like, maybe it's... Something might have to change for the Vulture just because it is, it has spider mines for free now. Pretty insane. Well, we have like 50 new units in the game, so it's not like I haven't made new units before. But source area is also pretty generic. Let's get our caffeine on, and then I can look to look towards our next goal. I'm pretty sure. So we've got a ton of different things that we can do, right? We can work on the AI. We can work on a map if we wanted to. We could work on the campaign planning. We could work on the stuff that we're working on for the like unit concepts and stuff. We can definitely continue to do that. So what I was thinking is, why don't we take a look at what units we realistically need at this point? I think a major one is definitely another mech unit out of the Iron Foundry. I'm not sure if there's actually a hole in the Terran Armada at this point, but I would like to identify weaknesses with a mech-heavy build, or the other way to do it as well, and this is sort of like avoiding survivorship bias or whatever, is like, what if we identify the weaknesses with another build that could be resolved by teching into mech, And that can be another way to incentivize the purchasing of a unit, right? So the Pazuzu is a super niche unit, I think. Like, its general attack is going to be pretty okay. Maybe it should be dealing normal damage instead of explosive to make it maximally like utilitarian or whatever. But obviously, the main deal with it is that it's very effective against mechanical targets. So against Zerg specifically, and also like Bioterran or Templar Protoss, you're just not going to see too much of a utility against like using this stuff, using the Pazuzu. But against Protoss and against Terran, it makes a lot more sense to in general use it. I don't really like that there isn't much of a use against Zerg with it. But that's kind of how things are, right? And when you have an entire race where everything is actually, maybe that's something else that we can think about. The thought just occurred to me that if something is powerful enough to inflict damage upon the owner of the target, like, okay, it kind of makes sense if you just attach that to the idea of something being mechanical, but maybe we can change it so that deconstruction applies to targets that are large in size. So suddenly, your enemy goes Ultra Cores, suddenly they're going to be dealing damage to themselves, negating the lifesteal that they have from Saber Siphon. Obviously, you can tag the like Sunken Colonies or Spore Colonies with it. You can tag Zaryuthaleths with it. You can tag Gazithalors, Alcagalisks, Lakizalisks, Vithralisks. I'm trying to think about what else might be large. I think that those are probably the only ones, Cascathalors. So it still has utility against a lot of the same units that it had utility with before. If you think about mechanical units, I think the Heracles is technically organic and mechanical, so it would no longer be affected by this. There's obviously like Phalanx, Goliath, Madrigal, Paladin are all large. Penumbra, Pazuzu, all large. I think Salamander is medium. Oh, Salamander is also large. That might end up changing. Is Wyvern large? Wyvern is large. Gorgons are medium, probably. Yep. So Gorgons and Wraiths would get away scot-free, so would Wendigos. But I think all of the advanced aircraft would take damage from that stuff. So it wouldn't really change how you interact with those units. And for Protoss, I mean, you've got Drakodins, Hierophants. Those are both large units. You've got, I think Idols are small or medium. Yeah, they're medium. Golems are actually small. That should probably change. That seems a bit goofy. Yeah, all these are small. Obviously, the Reaver, whatever it becomes, will be large. So will the Architect. So some units on the Protoss side, specifically the robotics side, will actually thwart this. Whereas larger units like, obviously, all the Striders, but the Archons as well, are going to be taking hits from that. The Pariah will take hits from that. The heavy aircraft will take hits from that. So I really like the fact that we can make it play around with that idea. So it's just large units. And then it doesn't, like, have basically no value at all against Zerg. It's just you wouldn't go into it if you're dealing with Zerg that, like, a Zerg that's spamming a lot of units. Because a lot of those units aren't going to be large, right? So that only makes sense. So I really like that sort of change to it. So I'll probably document that right now, actually. So we've got Pazuzu, we'll say deconstruction passive now affects large units from mechanical. Yes, it's everything that gets hit by a Pazuzu will be affected by deconstruction. Obviously, this is mechanical targets, and it's a permanent debuff as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have Seraph now. What's up, Samarth? I am from New England, USA. You, actually. I wonder why so many people ask that question. I guess maybe the American accent isn't immediately apparent or something. I just can't seem to get my glasses clean today. Pretty frustrating. So yeah, I like the idea of changing that over, so I guess I can do that real quick. I think it's in weapon damage. Alright, so deconstruction. Pazuzu behavior apply stack. So we'll say, instead of base property, I think it's like unit stat, unit size or something. Unit, it's a target ID, unit size large. Unfortunately, when Visual Studio does this, it just breaks. So then I have to go to like, I just have to wait for it, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what it's doing. It's not really telling me anything right now. Usually restarting the program will fix this, but... Yeah, I know where India is. Okay. So that's not it. Maybe I have to just go into C unit and find it myself. Oh, no, it's not in C unit. It's SCBW data. Okay, here we go. Size type. That's what it is. Size type. There we go. And then I guess it's supposed to be equals. Oh, wait, no, it's attacker ID. Forgot about that one. So that should be fine as a change. Fix that. We've got ourselves an update. So now I just need to go into here and find the Pazuzu and change its passive. Wait, what? Oh. Oh, I guess I could just be lowercase t. I guess even though we don't have Titanic actually added as a size yet, it makes sense to start documenting what units will be Titanic. So I think Star Sovereign and Solarian should be Titanic. And maybe that's it. Like, it's probably going to be a pretty rare thing. Maybe Architect. Maybe Architect. Probably not, though. Yeah, I think I'll do Solarian, Titanic. Oh, this reminds me to set Golem to medium. Should document that change, lest I forget. Golem size now medium from small. I don't even know if that might not even be true. Like, I should actually open up the unit stat file just to make sure that that's even the case. No, they're large. I think it's fine for them to be medium, though. So the website was wrong, but I still want them to be medium instead. All right, save. Well, it's a science fiction game, not a fantasy game. But the closest thing to magic we have are, like, psionics. All races use that, but Protoss probably use it more. I don't even really know if that's true. But I guess, like, the Terran one is... The humans use magic mixed with technology. The Protoss use a lot of, like, magic. And then the Zerg, their magic feels more like just an extension of their biology. So, as far as what feels the most magical, it's probably going to be a Protoss, but they all use it to some extent. in the lore. Apparently even medics are psionics, which is a little odd to me. Not really sure why that would be necessary. Okay. You know, that is something that I keep coming back to, the idea of people who have never. Yeah, they really are clerics. What's up, Stratos? I keep coming back to the idea of people who have never played StarCraft before, and I don't want to recommend that they play the campaigns. Like, I can't in good conscience do that because the campaigns are so dumb, and the actual quality. Like, I don't even really care about the plot. I mean, just the quality of gameplay experience you don't get. Like, that's damning enough, right? But it's not like there's something else out there, so. Like, what else would you say to onboard new players? There probably needs to be like a campaign specially designed for this purpose, you know? So it's single player, you don't worry about like having that. You know what I think the way that I would describe it is like, you don't want to worry about any sort of ladder anxiety when you're trying to play single player, right? It just doesn't happen to the same degree as people who are like inclined to play multiplayer. They're going to play multiplayer anyway, so you don't have to worry about like adding that in as a thing, right? So you make it so that it's single player, right? That's the reasoning for that, and then you have it be this thing that like is just on the easier side, I guess, where they're still tested and they'll probably will still fail like the tutorial or fail the opening mission or whatever, but that gets them accustomed to having to play the game at something of a high level. I think. I don't know. I've got tons of ideas for tutorials, but you know how it is. All right. Let's take a look at what else we were doing. We just processed that. That's fine. Just did this. Oh yeah, I was documenting which units were going to be Titanic. So obviously the Penumbra and Phobe. I'm not sure if the battlecruiser, or now as it's known, Minotaur, should be considered Titanic. I think it probably should, but then it should probably lose armor or something because Titanic is going to be like get that natural bonus against most weapons. So yeah, that will be a bit tricky. As far as Zerg goes, I think Malkothrakor, Alcagilisk. Those are probably the only two that are going to be Titanic currently, as well as the Othstaleth and Elazaleth. Can have those be Titanic. So they actually technically will have the most Titanic units. 3 of them are even implemented. And the 4th one, you know. Elazaleth, say Titanic. Oh, Alcagilisk is what I was looking for. I wonder if certain buildings should also be considered Titanic. That could be like a way to have higher effective HP without necessarily having higher HP or whatever. I kind of like the idea of the Malkothrakor's head being Titanic, but the segments just being large, so that you can focus down the segments, but focusing down the head is a little bit harder. Opens up a lot of design possibilities later on. So we did Arcagilisk. Oh, we were missing Othstaleth. That's what we're missing. Okay. So we'll say mark several units as Titanic. Revise Pazuzu. Passive. Revise Golem size. Okay, pull that. Now when we click on Elazaleth, Titanic. Pretty epic, if you ask me. Oh, hey Veek, the Frauds Club main page still says, what do you call it? The title is still Project Hydra. I'll fix that. And then this should actually have been... Wait. Oh, okay. I guess that makes some sense. Okay. And then... Is that actually how it is in other ones? Kind of confused about that. We have... Title... PAHREF... Oh, okay. So that is like how it looks like, okay. Update main page. Annihilated. Oh, fuck! What are we gonna do about that, boys? That's not quite as large as it probably should be, but I suppose that's fine. I don't think I can use class center. Well, I must be able to class center text it because of the fact that it's doing that. So yeah, I don't know. It's not AI. It's just the way that like we have so many different calculations running every frame. We're gonna be updating that later on because we get really bad performance in the test map and there are no AI running. I mean, or take longer to iterate through because there are more units or whatever. Oh yeah, if you're still uploading stuff to your YouTube channel, by the way, I can throw yours up here on the main page, Alexander. Since I know you used to upload stuff. Oh wait, I think Kian does the same thing, right? So I should probably find his fucking... I still have his other channel on my list, but... Kian Comstock. See if I can find him. Yeah, there he is. What do you mean the Hydra stuff is temporary? Well, yeah, but people keep those up anyway for posterity's sake, or for the in the moment fun that they have. Well, if you want me to throw you on there anyway, just let me know. Send me a link, because I can't find you just with a search. Oh, I guess it doesn't really make sense to link this, but it does feel a bit odd to have nothing there. All right, we're good there. Minimize that now. All right, so actually, let's go back to the main page. So I wanted to take a look at some more unit concepts that I might be able to pull out. Obviously, Zerg are ones that need quite a bit, I think, in terms of military units. But the question is how to best incorporate them into the swarm, into the different trees that we have here. I think it's good that we've kind of gone back to just having, like, you have this core unit that you then evolve, and you don't have to do like 3 chains up. Obviously, Gazithlors still come from Gorger cores currently, whereas they probably shouldn't. But that kind of leaves us open to maybe having a new basic air strain. So, in addition to Mutalisk, maybe there's like a strain of unit that you morph directly. I was even kind of thinking that maybe we have Mutalisk mutate into some other unit, and as well as the Vithrilisk, and then we have Gorgrikor be a basic unit that you train, and then that morphs into the Gazithalor, as well as another air unit. I'm not 100% sure about that one. It kind of does. It is kind of weird. Like, I definitely think Gorgrikor going into Gazithalor doesn't make any sense, because Gazithalor is like a long-ranged artillery flyer. It's formerly the Guardian. And Gorgrikor is a melee unit, so that definitely doesn't make any sense. But I like the idea that the Mutalisk could have an evolution into, obviously the Vithrilisk, which is this sort of like melee, or not melee. It's like air superiority. Obviously, it's got that like focus for anti-air or whatever, and shredding armor and whatnot. And I like the idea that it could also go a different direction as well. But I'm not 100% sure how that would look like. So I think there needs to be some re-engineering for the Zerg. And maybe that also comes in the form of like maybe the Calculus gets mutated from the Mutalisk, right? Maybe that's what ends up happening. Instead of mutating from the Quasilisk. And then we have another ground unit mutate from the Quasilisk. If we do that, it's actually kind of funny because every ground unit for Zerg would then have one air and one ground mutation. Like the Ultra Core mutates into Alcagilisk and Cascathalor, the Zergling, Vorverling, and Nathracor, the Hydralisk, Bactylisk, and... Oh no, they don't mutate into Almaxilisk anymore, so it's just Lakizilisk and Bactylisk. That wouldn't be the case, but that's still something that might be worth exploring. On the Protoss side, we're mostly lacking stuff in, obviously, infrastructure, but also in robotics. My thought was that I would actually be moving the Strident, Stratum, and Clarion over to the infrastructure page. However, I didn't really consider that we're already pretty full on infrastructure units, aren't we? Like if I jump into the test map, I take a look at the probe. Now the scribe. Where is it? And we look at core structure. Obviously, we've got the pylon, cannon, nexus, forge, shield battery, assimilator, and then pennant crucible. So unless we were to remove something like that, obviously we wouldn't be able to have... Like, we would need to extend the button sets, obviously. There are still 2 structure spaces available for robotic, but everything else is completely full. So... Guess I just didn't place an Astral Omen or something. Prank. Somehow forgot. But yeah. I like how the lighting on the front of the Crucible, like, flickers in a fucked up way. But everything else is seamless, which just means that... I guess that must be intentional, but it looks really dumb. I probably need to reduce the delay for the treasury overlay. I need to correct the precise positioning of a lot of the Zerg units as well. Like, it's obvious with Nathracors and Othsteleths that they kind of get fucked up. But even Calculisks and Alcagilisks, you can see, they're like wiggling and gyrating. I think the Gorger Core graphic doesn't have this problem. You know, it stays in place. Oh, here's a frame where it just very so slightly is like moving down, I think. Yeah, so maybe there's a couple of them that are like 1 pixels, one or 2 pixels or whatever. Oh, maybe it's not. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell. But you can see, like, for the Gazithalor, the Vitherlisk, like, that doesn't happen. Meanwhile, obviously, Broodlisk, it does happen. Almaxilisk doesn't seem to be occurring on, like, this angle, but obviously you can see when it's facing down, it's like that. There's a ton of shit like this where, like, the exporter just had it at, like, 1 or 2 pixels offset, which is a pretty big issue. But whatever. Anyway, yeah. Because we would have to remove a structure in order for us to have like another infrastructure thing fit inside the same button set. Like that's the same problem with Zerg, right? I can't fit another unit onto the Larva's button sets without removing some other unit, which I've already done for the Skryling, formerly Scourge. And that's going to come back as like a specialty unit anyway. But yeah. Kinda goofy, TBH. That's one of those things where I'm not even sure what the resolution would be. Like, how would you even fix that? However, for Protoss, we still have some space in the robotics branch, and especially if I wanted to move the Clarion and Stride and Stratum over to this side of things, like, my thought process was the Forge would train Clarions because they're utility drones instead of being combat-oriented. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because that's where all of the utility things come from the Forge, right? So the Envoy and the Witness come from the Forge. I was even thinking of maybe allowing Scribes and Artisans to be trained at the Forge. I'm not really 100% sure if that would make a huge impact, but it might be cool, like, for having workers being trained at the Forge as well as the Nexus. We already have that for the add-on for Terrans, right? The Quarry trains them. That's pretty neat. And then obviously we've got larval colonies for Zerg. So I guess it would make some sense, actually. And it would be thematic with regards to the way that it all comes together. Since the Forge is sort of like, here are the accepted automatons or whatever. The ones that we are allowing you to use without any controversy, so to speak. All right, built that. Close that. So yeah, let me go to... It's hopeless to try to find the unit in that list. This should also be done for the Mason, technically. Okay. And then on the Forge itself, I need to say creates Protoss scribe. Oh, that, and then Protoss artisan. And then the artisan needs to say created by scribe artisan to the Forge. Yeah, should be good. All right. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of that idea personally. All right. So we'll make that change. Let's jump to Firegraft and get the DAT requirements and button in, and then I think everything will be good. Probe, scribe, or, hey, or, current unit is, this is Cantavis, RN, Steward. Well, I guess it would just be phalanx. Oh yeah, and then there's medic somewhere in here as well. Fixed. Okay. Should be good there as well. Now we can just plug in some updates here. We'll say forge. This is utilitarian drone production. And then we'll say deconstruction. It says, should say large targets. I think that's everything. I don't think we need to like. I mean, the one thing would be to rename Firebed already, but it's probably not that important to do that right now. Yeah, we've done that. Got the Pazuzu taken care of. Number taken care of. All right. And now I think that justifies the gas cost of the forge a little bit more as well, right? There we go. Easy, boys. Go ahead and throw that message down here. Oh, I think somebody earlier was talking about the updater downloading all the maps or something, but I don't remember if that was in the Modstream chat yesterday or if that was something that I dreamed of or something. I don't know. Does anybody remember that? I forgot to like follow up on that if it is real. Yeah, I guess all of these are new, huh? All right, posted those. Oh, you posted about that in the Hydra channel? Oh, yeah. It's even right here. I don't know why I didn't. Update full, downloads everything Hydra related to its location, but also downloads the maps again to the Starcraft folder. Yeah, I think that was for some reason intentional. I don't know why. You'd have to talk to Luciferius and or Milestone about that, since they're the ones who put that together. I'm going to take a couple minutes here to use the bathroom and get some more water. When I return, we'll probably be working a little bit more on either some unit concepts or I don't know, I kind of feel like I very early on hit a wall with the unit concepts thing because of those tech tree limitations or the technical engine limitations of the button sets and stuff. But I can maybe come up with something for the mech build, the Iron Foundry. Aside from that, though, I will probably be diving into some more campaign planning. So, see ya, boys, very soon. Alright, I'm back. Sup, homies? Uh... Trying to find a mix, and I can't, as usual. Okay. So what we've got here is a quest to make a new unit. Right, so what I'm going to try and do is find a graphic that I have not already used that might be useful for a mech unit. It's a tough thing to try and tackle. This tank, for example, seems kind of shit, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get something usable out of this game, to be completely straight with y'all. We might find something else that we can use as a hovercraft. But I was kind of hoping for something that was a little bit more grounded, to be honest. Okay, that's it for there. It is more likely than you think. Glad somebody got the reference. Or at least spoke of the reference. I still feel like maybe the... Like, obviously this unit doesn't really work when you're looking straight at it. Right? As like a hovercraft, but maybe if the front was this and the back was that, that might be something. We could use the thrusters as a firing animation. And this is obviously just hilarious. Like, what do you even do about this? Mongo Gunner. This is the Pazuzu. I guess this could work as a hovercraft. It does look like a gunboat, but it looks a bit more like an actual ship, so... Void Observer, Wendigo. Yeah. We might be stuck with the superconductor here, which could, in theory, work, but it's actually quite small. It's even smaller than the Pazuzu. I was hoping for something a bit on the larger side. Maybe we can find something in here. The golf cart. Love it. Yeah, I'm gonna say probably not. We've already used all these, I'm pretty sure. All the ones that were usable, anyway. Alright, we're fucked out of those. Can't really make anything work there. Embarrass cruiser. That is true. Check out my Tony Walker. What a wacky game this must be. The dog walker. Love that. Wow. Yeah, you're not gonna find anything useful here, man. Alright, that's that out. I don't think there's anything useful in these either. These are the ones that we already scoured. Oh, this is raw flesh, I guess. I still need Rogan Painter at some point. It's such an idiot. That's a map crap. Oh, yeah, this is the Quasilisk. I forgot about that. And I think Beetlejuicer? Yeah, Beetlejuicer Zoristeleth. Check it out. I think those are the only good ones, though. There is Mongo Horse, but he's a little... He's a bit of a lunatic, I'm sad to say. What a fucking set of units. Dad Thricor, I like that one. Oh shit, homie. I guess that might be a Titanic melee unit or something. Didn't think about that one. Ah, yes. The Slug. I'm not sure if it's... I'm really not sure it's possible to use Tony, but he might be epic. Yeah, maybe it would be useful to sift through the fucking Earth ones. Not sure. Since we are looking for Terran stuff after all. Is this the system I had here? No. No, I actually made folders for each individual unit, I guess. Alright, I guess we'll just leave the rest of those for now. Oh, no, there's some P's here. Say 8P, 9, 10, 11, 10P, 11P. I'm pretty sure most of these have already been data mined, so there's probably not much of a value of me doing it at this point, but... Maybe I'll find something that nobody else did, though. Unlikely, but possible. Okay. I don't even remember what it is. Is spr.exe x.spr. What? The fuck? Why isn't it just sending me to E? Isn't that normally what I have to do? Dude, what the fuck? Usually you can just do... Oh, it's just E. Okay, that's why. Pranked. spr.exe x.spr. See what we got. Some corpse or another. And this is misc of mine. There, delete those. It's just some turret. Interesting. Turret. That's probably related to the 10 here then. So... What the fuck? It's the engineer. I think it's digger or something. Oops. Wait, why is this graphic just randomly in here? What the fuck? That definitely shouldn't be in here. They just imported it to the wrong directory, it looks like. Oh, well, that's great. Obviously fucked. Don't need that then. Yeah, this also isn't supposed to be here. They just, like, lazily left these in, it looks like. This is some sort of tank base, but the pallet's fucked. Oh, this is interesting. This is an actual proper tank turret. Pretty nice. This looks like half of a unit. I don't know what the hell that is. Maybe that's another turret. Like a missile launcher turret or something. Okay. Now we can just do spr.exe1.spr. Yeah, okay. So this will be advisor then. And this will be building turret. Oh, this is mobile infantry. He seems to be running instead of... Why is this portrait running? What the fuck? Goofy. Is 3 the magic number? No, it's just the main base. See if the 3 PSPR is anything to write home about. That's the same graphic. We can probably infer that all of the buildings are using the same ones. This is like mobile supply or something. Ground supply. Something like that. Well, I've been doing these modding streams for quite a while now. Air supply, that's what it is, okay. I just realized I hadn't done the Terran stuff, or the human equivalent or whatever, in Armageddon, and I wanted to see if I would find anything that anybody else missed. What's going on with you? What is Magno Cent? Oh, Mongo horse or whatever. Is that what you mean? That's a meme. It was like engineering bay or something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I just pranked myself. I don't recall seeing this unit, but it doesn't have any team colors. Maybe that's why. Oh, it does sort of have team color in the back. Which will be covered by the fucking engine. I don't know about that one. Capital ship. Wow, look at this man. What a face. Not the face I was expecting. The fuck? Oh, this looks like an upgraded version of mobile infantry or something. Wonder if they have a different portrait as well. Well, that might just be the wrong one. I don't know. According to their organization, that would be for... That's the same portrait that we just saw, so... Oh, this is ground supply. When we can actually use HYDRA's game state and stuff for map craps instead of having it crash and whatnot, I will definitely be more interested in doing what we all want to do, which is port meme units. Didn't I just have this? Why is this in here twice? I guess that's like a destroyed one or something. Misc digger wreck. So we can do wreck digger in case there's other wrecks. This is some sort of building. Oh, here's the proper digger. Digger blued? I don't even know what you would call that. This is the tank base. I think it's like some really stupid name like Smasher or Crusher. Oh, I just pranked myself again. The proportions of this thing are a bit off. Some sort of helicopter. Wowee. What is that, Command and Conquer Man? Wait, is copter... Helicopter. Is it ER or OR? Yeah, ER. That's what I thought. That's just the advisor. What the fuck is this guy? What a lunatic. Talk about a unit I've never seen before. Never saw this one either. It looks a little goofy, so I guess I understand why. Got nothing there, man. Might be like a transport of some kind. Whoa! Oh, this must be the actual version of that ship, then. Poor man's battlecruiser head. Yeah, I don't think that was correct at all, to be honest. That could be an actual portrait, it looks like. Although I didn't look at its animation, but... Teeth are a little white. No lighting on the teeth, of course. Oh yeah, this is some sort of like... building reactor or something. I think this is Weapon Lab? Vaguely recall something like that. Oh, I haven't seen this one either. kind of weird to me that, you know, we've had these assets for quite a while, but we haven't actually data mined them fully, I guess. Or people just haven't bothered converting everything. Portrait, curve fighter. Yeah, this is like... Oop. Destroyed. Yeah, this is like Depot. All right. So for the most part, we have... I don't think this is a complete rip. Like, I'm pretty sure we're missing some assets, but... Yeah, what really sucks is that this is like clearly an unfinished model, but it looks better than the regular mobile infantry, so it would be nice to actually have that. Pretty interesting that we have this guy. Obviously, I'm missing some frames. I don't know what the fuck is on his left shoulder there, but we could probably remove that with enough edits. Mm. Well, out of music. Fate worse than death. So the question is, do we really want to use anything here for a new mech unit? Like, this could work in theory. I still haven't figured out why I don't have access to, like, a rip or whatever of all of the frame lengths or whatever. Let me take a look at the DLDB and we might be able to find something. Guess I'll check in on the posts, the polls. Colossus. Nice fucking username. I wonder if it would be possible to upscale some of the Outlive graphics with higher quality. That's probably something that I can ask DF about. I wouldn't say that necessarily. More like they're a bunch of pranksters. Still surprised I haven't seen this graphic. Like, this doesn't seem like there's anything in particular wrong with it. I don't have anything that I would use it for in HYDRA, but don't see a reason to not see it. And this one, like, surely somebody would have had a use for this. This is like an epic ship. Smasher, by the way. That is a real unit name, Smasher. Brutalized IMO. Now we go into Starcraft 2 land. Very scary space. Where for some reason they've used the low poly or the low quality models instead of, well, they're all low quality, but you know what I mean? The low graphic settings models, as a matter of fact. What is this from Aatrox? Yeah. Warship. I like how this graphic isn't even in the right fucking angle. Like, holy moly. Fairly certain that that graphic is also fucked, but I might as well take a look. Yeah, I think we're out of territory where there's anything worthwhile. Everything else is just fooked beyond belief. Yeah, you like that? Where he just pulls that fucking, lays it out on the table. Oh, I do already have these in team color. Look at this man. I don't know if that team color would actually work, by the way. Yeah, the team color here seems to be just fucked, which is pretty epic. Nice dick. Don't even know what the fuck's going on. Amazing. Alright. Yeah, is this version of the graphic as fucked up as the others? Yep. You notice The version is much larger. Yeah. See? Probably easier to see in this. It's like 10% larger. And then it just turns more blue during the attack animation. What a fucked graphic. It's like that in the original graphic as well. Well, I've done some graphical conversions, but I haven't really seen anything that I like for a mech unit for Terrans. And you know, large portion of what you can even comfortably work on is limited to that. You know, you don't want to... It's difficult to come up with a unit concept without having, like, the graphic right there, basically, so... Gross. Yeah, I feel like we'd probably need to, like, go for some really dumb placeholder. The other thing is, I'm thinking... Well, I don't know, maybe we can find something in here, since I didn't really look through this. I could see the arrow fighter. Although, for some reason, they only fire from one side. I don't know if that's an error of the conversion or what, but... Warship. We use Junker for Manifold. Nah, heavy tank's not really suitable, I don't think. Flame Runners cringe. Engineers cringe, I think. Yeah. Cringe. Suppose there could be ATV. But I don't know. It's not really yelling at me as if it needs to be used. Oh yeah, I think I was looking through this at some point just to see if there was anything, but there was nothing. I guess this could work, but I don't know, man. It's a pretty goofy, top-heavy turret. Yeah. Yeah, nothing really screaming quality at me, unfortunately. That's why I was thinking maybe the tank from Outlive might work, but it's pretty aggressively upscaled right now, so not sure. So yeah, I think we'll need to take a little bit longer to consider that one. But still something I want to look at. We're also at the end of my streaming allotment time, since I've got to do some casting in a little bit. So I'm gonna call it now, get some food and all that shit. And yeah, hopefully not yawn in the middle of casting, which may happen. But I hope you guys had fun tagging along for this. Updated some of the website pages and in general got a little bit more work done on like planning some of the future work that we're going to be doing. So pretty happy with that. And obviously we might be doing yet another double feature here later on. We will see. I will keep you guys apprised. And yeah, see you certainly tomorrow, if not later today. Bye-bye.